on. Come closer. Let's start this journey together. Get to know one another so we can rise together. Pick me up, hold me, feed me, but it might be messy. Change me, but it might be smelly. Be my playdate. Be my rocking chair. Be my hero.
Because every dad should play an equal role in his baby's life, Pampers is giving 8 weeks of paternity leave to their new dads, hoping to inspire others to give Kenyan dads this opportunity.
Hello 22bet.
Oya niaje?
Poa sana.
Unasikia nenda kuingia kwa account yangu napata kuna maziwa rada?
Oh, hiyo ni Euro 2020 cashback. Tunapeana 8% kwa kila game ya Euro.
Hadi kwa kila game?
Hata zenye zimekunywa maji.
Sasa nyinyi ndio mabazeng. Itabidi hadi nimechapia mbogi. Cheki Mamorio. Unasikia kuna 8% cashback ya nini ya Euro ya 22bet.
Get 100% bonus on your first deposit now. SMS join to 29252. 22bet. Tucheze, tushinde. 22.
Good evening, glad you could join me tonight for Maisha Prime News. My name is Rida Chabet Kering. It is Thursday and here on Maisha TV we say PLG Thursday, that is politics, leadership and governance. So don't miss Maisha Prime Talk as we talk about politics, specifically President Uhuru's most anticipated Western Region tour, but that is after Maisha Prime News. Welcome aboard. Welcome. The Orange Democratic Movement ODM party is officially out of the National Super Alliance NASA. In a statement today, the ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna said that the party had officially made a decision to alight the NASA ship. NASA is the coalition that houses 3 other parties, which is Wiper headed by Kalonzo Musyoka, Amani National Congress ANC headed by Musalia Mudavadi, Ford Kenya headed by Moses Wetangula, and Chama cha Mashinani headed by Isaac Ruto. ODM's announcement comes a few days after affiliate parties Wiper, Amani National Congress, Ford Kenya, and Chama cha Mashinani CCM declared the outfit dead. The four parties accused Orange Democratic Movement of betrayal and shortchanging them on the sharing of political parties' funds. Sifuna has been under fierce criticism by other NASA partners, especially on how they will share 308 million shillings it received courtesy of parliamentary votes. This saw the coalition boil into issues of a mistrust of the funds and how they could be shared amongst the four parties.
The party is therefore dismayed by statements attributed to our former partners that the offer was somehow a vindication of their long-running grievance and that the same was made in a desperate attempt to keep them in the coalition. Nothing could be further from the truth. We still hold that NASA is the past. To further demonstrate this point, the National Executive Committee of ODM has today resolved to formally exit the NASA coalition. The NEC has further deliberated on the future of the party and its need to make new friends. We intend to embark on a program to build new partnerships and extend the ongoing talks with our potential partners to the grassroots.
And the late Caroline Kangogo has finally been laid to rest at her home in Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet County. However, the officer was not accorded the ceremonial police send-off due to the circumstances surrounding her last days and eventual death. Let's have a look. Hundreds gathered at the Anin grounds to bid Kangogo farewell.
Now we have passed on, but your memories will always live on with us. We will be forever grateful and thankful that you are our man.
Born on January 10th, 1987, Kangogo was the firstborn child in their family. She enrolled to the National Police Service in 2008, where she rose through the ranks to the position of corporal until her tragic death on July 16, 2021. In 2014, Kangogo was certified as a sharpshooter at a shooting range training.
The late was a member of St. Joseph's Catholic Church and who was baptized in the year 2000.
Even in death, Corporal Caroline Jemutai Kangogo was not honored with a police escort, casket watch, or a guard of honor. Often when a member of the forces or service dies, his or her colleagues conduct a funeral parade to honor and celebrate their life. A pall, that is a cloth covering the casket, will be supported by officers of the same rank as that held by the deceased. But today, as Kangogo was being laid to rest at Nyawa village in Elgeyo Marakwet County, she was not accorded police burial rights as it's the norm. But the officer was buried according to her wishes, dressed in a white wedding gown, noted in a series of text messages she left behind. Her family is still at pains over her death, describing her as a luscious fruit that God picked from the earth. Her parents, Barnabas and Leah Korir, on Thursday said they were still reeling from shock, disbelief and denial over the circumstances leading to her death, but chose to celebrate the time she shared with them.
Caroline alikuwa discipline girl, lakini tunajua ya kwamba as time goes, unajua hii discipline force iko na challenges yake, pengine akapata challenges huko mbele, lakini wakati alikuwa Leah, she was a discipline girl, alikuwa anacheza football. Maneno ni mingi, lakini ninasema yale yote mwenye anajua ukweli yake ni Temu na Mungu yake. Tuzoee kunena mazuri, na wanasema yale ulimi yako inanena ndio utapata. So wakati unatamka kitu chungu kwa familia, ujue hata sisi tunasikia uchungu. Nitarudia kusema leo kwamba Chemutai ni mtoto ya watu.
An autopsy conducted on Tuesday by Chief Government Pathologist Johansen Odor revealed the cause of death was an injury by a bullet that went through the spine to the brain and skull. The post-mortem and burial, which were to be conducted last week, were postponed at the last minute after a standoff between state and the family. The officer was the main suspect in the murder of police officers in Nakuru and businessman in Juja. Kangogo became a fugitive until on July 15th, when it became an end of the road after Kangogo's mother stumbled on her body inside a bathroom at their home in Nyawa, Keyo North. Maisha TV. Bungoma Governor Wycliffe Wangamati has finally come out and admit that his officers mistakenly removed Diana Nyokabi's name from the county scholarship program. According to the county boss, his vetting team mistook Nyokabi's mother, who sells groceries, as a landlady. This comes at a time when Lamu Governor Fahim Tuaha and the Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka have already sent the money to cater for Nyokabi's one-year studies. Recently, Wangamati's opponents criticized his program as the one rocked with tribalism after Diana Nyokabi, who scored 401 marks, was not picked.
Have dinner on this program, and we're going to give her a full scholarship program because the program we have designed here, and it's important that people know, no individual will have the same will. On Monday, we met with the Equity Bank, and I told Priscilla, we met with the CEO of Equity Bank. He committed that any student who will get an A will be taken to Equity Bank. Thereafter, if they apply and are qualified to go to abroad, they will be airlifted and catered for 110%. Do you want to leave that opportunity because somebody somewhere has offered to pay 1 year's fees? It doesn't make sense. Yeah. No. I think it is important. This is not just about money. And if people want to help, there are so many hundreds and hundreds of cases.
Kamiti ambayo ilitembea katika vijiji kuhakikisha kwamba inapata wanafunzi ambao wanafaa, ilitumia viambajengo vipi, vipengee vipi kuwachuja na kuwatia msasa wale ambao walifaulu kupata pesa hizi. Jambo la pili, itakuwaje watu wafanye sherehe kubwa kama iliyofanywa na huku hakuna orodha ya majina watu kamili ambao wanapaswa kupata pesa hizi?
Nashukuru kila mmoja ambaye amejitolea. Mtoto sasa ataenda shule. Ninashukuru kwa sababu gavana amesema amerudisha mtoto kwa program. Sasa hii pesa yenye nimepata naenda kulipia huyu mtoto mwenye ako kwa nyumba ajaenda shule. Ingine nifanyie mtoto shopping aende shule huyu mwingine dina.
More than 500 families displaced from their homes by floods in Budalangi, Busia County have expressed fears over the possible spread of the COVID-19 pandemic due to the deplorable living condition in their makeshift tents, as Philip Simeo reports.
These families from 11 wards in Budalangi have been forced to live here after massive floods cut them off their homes and normal lives. They are among hundreds who have been affected throughout the years due to Lake Victoria backflows.
Mimi ndio nilikaribisha watu hapa baada ya kuvamiwa na mafuriko ya maji mwaka jana. Hili janga lileta shida, hasa watu kukaa pamoja na kurudi makwao imekuwa ni shida, manake kuna mambo mengine bado na maji.
The crowding in tents is now exposing them to the risk of contracting COVID-19.
Hii mambo ya corona pia huwezi jua nani ako nayo na nani hana. Then sasa ukiangalia kama crowded hivi, unaweza kuta maybe mtu amejenga nyumba yake ni ndogo na hapo ndani maybe ako na familia, na ndani hiyo familia wanaweza kuwa watu kama 7. Sasa inaweza cost jao watoto wanacheza pamoja.
Hapa camp ini boma ya mtu, but venye sisi tunaishi tukifinyana. Hii mambo ya corona wenye walisema ati kwa kunini spaces, tupatiane spaces, but there is no space kupatiana. So hatujui kama hiyo ugonjwa inaweza tu affect pia.
Many here are farmers and fishers. They fail another risk of contracting waterborne disease as they struggle to make ends meet and want the government to consider securing land to help them relocate to safer grounds.
Kama serikali kununua shamba hao watu waende wajenge maboma, kwa sababu ukiangalia hizi areas zingine zenye ziko huku Mwalo huku na Mabusu huku, hao watu watarudi hapa saa hii, wanarudi maybe after 10 years. Na after 10 years mtu hawezi kukubalia hiyo camp ikue kwa boma lake.
Zile familia ambazo zilikuwa affected zilikuwa familia zaidi ya 18,000. Na haya mafuriko yalianza mwaka wa 2019 mwezi wa 9. Sisi tumepoteza maboma, tumepoteza mifugo, tulipoteza vyombo vya kutumia nyumbani, tumepoteza zile investment tulikuwa nazo, biashara zenye tulikuwa tunafanya, kilimo imeenda yote, kwa sababu hii area yenye iko flooded ndio watu walikuwa wanafanya ukulima.
Reporting for Maisha TV, I'm Philip Simiyu.
There is a looming teachers' crisis with the full resumption of learning in the schools for the first term since the disruption of the school calendar by COVID-19. Kupet SG Akelo Misori says the number of Form 1 students expected to report to secondary schools will overwhelm the current number of teachers. He called on the parliament to intervene and allocate more funds to TSC to hire more teachers.
Already having 100% transition, and the number of Form 1s who have been admitted currently far much outstrip the number of Form 4s currently in school by 400,000. That means that we are already having an upsurge of increase of nearly 30% in admission in our schools, posing a threat to the staffing establishment in schools. And with the few number of teachers who are being recruited, I consider this one a drop of water in the ocean. We now therefore call upon the serious stakeholder in this, that is the national, the parliament and national treasury, to consider a serious financial allocation for the employment of more teachers to address the needs created by two sets of curriculum delivery in our schools.
And the Global Partnership for Education Global Education Summit began in London today. The global community was led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson to pledge support quality education for all children. The Global Partnership for Education supports 60 developing countries to ensure that every child receives a quality basic education, prioritizing the poorest, the most vulnerable, and those living in fragile and conflict-affected countries. The Global Partnership mobilizes financing for education and supports developing countries to build effective education system founded on evidence based on planning and policies.
As you are aware, the campaign has been carried out under unique and difficult circumstances precipitated by the global COVID-19 pandemic. It is against this backdrop of unprecedented financial constraints and social and economic disruptions and upheavals that Kenya and the United Kingdom have reached out to all development partners across the world, with the aim of ensuring that the value of investing in education remains at the forefront of global development and in all our efforts to build back after the pandemic.
And that's all we had for Maisha Prime News. My name is Rida Chebet Kering, and after this, I'll be coming back on Maisha Prime Talk, and today we talk about politics, and politics. Make sure you tuned in. My name is Rida Chebet Kering. Enjoy the rest of your day. tonight. It is PLG Thursday, that is politics, leadership and governance. And we ain't gonna leave you out of our conversation. You can text or call in 0746 999 841. We are also live on our social media platform, Facebook and YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. My Twitter handle is at Rida Chebet, Facebook Rida Chebet. I'll be sampling some of your comments on our social media platforms and some of the text that you will call or that you will text on the number that I've just given out. And before I get into the nitty-gritty of our discussion tonight, and even before I let you know who is with me tonight in our studio, let's have a look at this.
For the last 2.5 years, until now, when now our effort has paid dividends, that the president will be here to officially launch this project.
Baadaye tutaenda kuangalia hospitali ambayo inajengwa hapa, tuone vile tutasaidiana.
Sisi akitaka kula watoto wake, anaanza kuwaambia wananuka kama mbuzi. Akirudi kwa nyumba anasema anasikia harufu ya mbuzi hapa.
By Sunday and Monday we should be setting up this place for the construction of a state-of-the-art refinery.
The problem we have been having with the mining, artisan mining, they will be able now to learn more skills from more established miners like the ones that are coming here.
All right, after looking at that video, those are Western leaders led by Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya talking about President Kenyatta's visit that is scheduled for this coming weekend. With me in studio to help dissect these political matters, including President Kenyatta's visit, is the CEO of ClearSol Africa Limited and Director of Depression Kenya and Director of Champions of Faith Kenya Edition. He's an entrepreneur with vast interest in the media industry. Welcome, Karibu Bushebi Jr.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. My name is Bushebi Jr. and of course it's Thursday, so here we are to talk about quite a number of issues. I have no idea what you have for us tonight in the political buffet, leadership and governance stuff, but I hope our viewers are going to enjoy it.
Okay, before we continue, let me just highlight some of the issues that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
We have President Kenyatta's visit to Western, that is this coming weekend. We're also going to talk about Raila's visit to Mount Kenya region. That was early this week. Also, we'll talk about the One Kenya Alliance. It seems that there is something going on with that newly formed coalition. And also, we'll talk about fake news and propaganda, especially as we approach the 2022 general elections.
Wow.
And to finish off, we'll also talk about the governor's scholarship program, that is the Bungoma's bursary.
Yeah, quite a number of stuff, quite a number of issues there. I don't know if the amount of time will be allocated would be enough, but looking at just an overview of what is happening. Of course, the president will be going to Western Kenya. Those are how many counties?
Five, I think.
Five counties. That is Trans Nzoia County,
Bungoma County,
Bungoma, Kakamega, Vihiga,
and
Busia.
Yeah,
those are five counties. So those are around, let's say, approximately 5 million people. Let's say approximately 1 million in each, average in each county. But looking at what has been happening and politically, is that you know, when the president is visiting at some place, of course there's always that issue of who's gonna be the point person.
Yeah, and that's just one of the issues that has emerged in the recent days. There has been rift among the Western leaders. There, as in some leaders, youth leaders came out and condemned the devolution CS Eugene Amalwa, saying that there is a plot to sideline the ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula of Ford Kenya.
Sideline them from what? I think leaders I mean, it's not just Western Kenya. It's something that has always been happening. If you look at the history of politics, Anytime a big person is coming, you know, power, you know, stuff like that, you know, it's politically you gain mileage, you know, financially gonna gain mileage and all that, you know. So they're not just fighting for Uhuru Kenyatta, they're fighting for all these package of goodies that Uhuru Kenyatta is coming. But looking at the projects that the president will be coming to commission and, you know, look at, most of the projects are in Kakamega and Vihiga.
Yeah. In fact, from what you know as per now is all the projects are in Vihiga County and Kakamega County.
And so, yeah, it leaves the question, like we were saying the other time, what happened to these other counties? What are they planning? What is your plan? Exactly, what are you gonna do with this visit? Yes, you want all the leaders to participate to do. The big question is, what are we presenting before the president? Like I said the other time, the president is not your neighbor, is not your next door neighbor. Once somebody becomes the president, declare that this person is the president, he's the custodian of all the resources of the country. He's a package of trillions of shillings. He's a package of all the land resources, the energy resources, the military arsenal and everything. So when this person is you strike a deal with this person, you're not striking a deal with an individual, you're striking a deal with all this. So you really need to be careful to know what you're going to present whenever such a person of that magnitude visits. So, excuse me, so the big question is, what is being presented? First of all, collectively, let's say the Western Kenya leaders, governors, let's say, or leaders in Western Kenya. And then number two, what are they presenting individually? Like, you're the governor of this county, what do you want? What do you want? My biggest concern is that, like I said, it's a scientific data that shows what exactly people from a certain region or location or county really want. Do you have the scientific data? Like, hey, listen, my people do ABCD. They wake up at 6. They come back at home maybe at around 5. This is the amount of money they earn. This is the amount of land they own. Most of them are in this occupation. This is what they do. So if we start this project, then it's going to benefit them. Instead of just sleeping, then waking up in the morning and shouting, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, it's not something that has really helped, because you can imagine your own projects and stand up and say, you know, I'm going to do ABCD. And eventually, you find that those are your own individual imaginations. The things you are doing look good, but not really beneficial to the people. So the scientific data that backs up the projects that you can present to the national government and other investors. The big question is, the national government is just an investor, because they also look for other investors too, so that they can bring in money to invest in a project. But the thing is, do you have the scientific data, evidence, tangible evidence that this project, once installed at this place, it's going to do A, B, C, D for everyone, both the investor, the people around, you know, everybody.
Well, and speaking about the scientific data, do you think that these counties, let's talk currently, based on the projects that you know President Kenyatta is going to commission, Vihiga County and Kakamega County, do you think that those county government collected scientific data or did a research on the relevance of those projects in those regions?
Yes, I think Kakamega County has the scientific backup data for whatever projects that they are doing. Same as Vihiga. But I'm not 100% sure about other counties, but at least I've seen the data from Kakamega County. Even the fishery industry in Kakamega County has very heavy scientific data to back it up. The gold mining and refining, you know, it's something viable. There's data. This thing started in 1930. Then there is this granite thing in Vihiga. These are things that are tangible. Okay, Kenya is let's say 70%, 60% service industry nation. And when you look at the county apart from Kakamega and Vihiga and Trans-Nzoia, because we know Trans-Nzoia is also the basket of the nation. They do a lot of farming. If you look at these other counties like Bungoma and Busia, let's say Bungoma is majorly a service industry. There's nothing really apart from Pan Paper that died and Nzoia that is almost is in ICU or perhaps maybe close to ICU. What else? I mean, what else does Bungoma do? So really, there's a need to go back and do serious scientific research on what exactly will uplift these counties to another level. Because right now, as we are talking, if the president successfully and Kakamega County and Vihiga County, they successfully commission and build those projects, then trust you me, in the next 10, 20 years, the economy of that place will be totally different. So what are other counties, Lake Region and Western Kenya counties, what are they thinking? You know, you don't just wake up and do things. Okay, you don't just wake up and, you know, it's like somebody just watched you on TV and you say, oh wow, I also want to be on TV, and you just wake up and you start, you know, you need to pay the price. You need to know exactly what you're getting yourself into, and you need to know the benefits, because there's a cost implication on that. So you need to know why you're getting yourself into something. You need to know why you're setting up the gold refinery plant. You need to know why you're setting up this fishery factory. You need to know why you're setting up this tea factory. You need to know why you're building these roads. You need to understand the viability, not by imagination. You see, that's one problem. Not by sitting down and imagining, you know, just imagining this city and, you know, people do what business? I mean, imagining these roads, then what? You can build all these things, you can put up quite a number of projects, then at the end of the day, zinakufia hapo.
Haisaidii watu.
Haisaidii mtu. Utapata watu have traveled around huko Nandi huko Rift Valley. Barabara mzuri sana imejengwa, barabara bado mpya. Lakini watu wameanika mahindi juu. Hakuna gari napita. Watu wameanika mahindi juu. And it can stay like that for 5 hours. Ameanika mahindi. And na gari itapita hapo after 5 hours. You can do such things. Okay, so you really need to know exactly what you're doing. What are the basic needs that can build a society economically? Because Western Kenya is not a poor region.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's not a poor region. It's just that there is nobody who has ever sat down and done a scientific research, and those who've done it have been ignored. And that is why we even have a serious brain drain in Western Kenya. Serious brain drain. If you're smart, if you're intellectual, if you're intelligent in Western Kenya, find a place to go. Find a place to go. Because there's nothing, there's nobody, there is no avenue, there's no enabling environment that is going to allow you to really achieve the things that you want to achieve. And that is one thing that has cost Western Kenya its investments. People are running away. We have serious brain drain. We're talking about scientific data. We have smart brains in Western Kenya that can do these things cheaply. But there's nobody who can tap into that. All that people care about is, you know, swindling a lot of money out of county and public coffers, you know, doing some shoddy, mediocre scientific study that doesn't even exist, or even imagining they did it and put a report down, you know. as long as there's some millions of shillings siphoned away, and it's accounted for, accounted for, that's it. But we have serious brain drain. And when a region has a serious brain drain like Western Kenya, then don't expect development. Go to Nairobi and see the people that are doing great stuff. You'll be shocked that biggest creations, the biggest innovations, and the things that these guys are doing in other regions, in other cities, in other towns, from Western Kenya, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. But if you ask them, can you do such things maybe in Western Kenya, they tell you, man, don't even think about going there. That is one area that can never give you an enabling environment. And that is why we think that Western Kenya is poor. It's not. Your sons and daughters are rich in brains, they are rich in visions and dreams, and they can do great things. What are you doing to create an enabling environment? Nothing. You've allowed me to talk for a long time. I think
so. Talking about this brain drain, what can the Western region? Let's talk about Western region, not Bungoma County or Kakamega County. Yes. What can they do to prevent that?
It goes back to attitude. That time I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling him, Western Kenya needs an attitude change campaign. We really need to do an attitude change campaign. Those who still reside in Western Kenya have those who survive, okay, they have this attitude that I can't make it. We can't build this. This is too much, okay. So they are contented with whatever they have, okay. So we need to start an attitude change campaign. When education came to Western Kenya, our parents went for education, okay, which is a very good thing. Personally, I'm educated. I've gone to school, so I wouldn't be speaking English if I never went to school. So please go to school, which is a very good thing, okay. But this is what happened. Our parents sold land, okay, to pay school. They sold almost everything to go and pay school fees, so you can get education.
Yeah.
In the hope that once you get education, you'll get a job, then you will come back and repurchase the land back, and help to regain what the parents lost when they were paying school fees, selling everything. That is when the culture of selling anything, selling assets to purchase liabilities started. Okay? Selling land to buy a car started. Selling land to purchase a motorbike started. Okay? Selling land to pay dowry started. Selling land to purchase Christmas clothes and kununua unga ya chapo. Selling land, and once you get some little money, some little assets, it's all about expenses. You used to hear stories of mtu fulani amekata miwa. What next? A second wife? Or pesa iko tukule paka ikuishe, hiyo pesa imeisha kabisa, then anarudi square one. You might be asking yourself, where did this culture come from? Okay, how do you think of selling an asset to purchase a liability? Okay, how do you sell land to buy a motorbike? Okay, why not cultivate the land, sell whatever comes out of the land, then use the proceeds to purchase a motorbike, so that even if you lose the motorbike, you still have your land.
Yeah.
Or you have both. You have your motorbike and you have your land. That is not a curse. That doesn't need prayers. It doesn't need fasting. It doesn't need a preacher. It just needs a change of attitude. Hey, listen, just change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at will change. Okay? So that is when we got the culture of selling assets and buying liabilities. You know, you sell land to purchase a phone. That once you walk away with that smartphone, it loses value. Okay? Because Rita Chebet is now driving her vehicle. I can't just sit here. I go sell my father's land, also purchase a vehicle. Okay? But you see, when you look at other rich regions, they have investments, okay, that produce money to pay for their expenses. They have money machines. Okay? When they have land, they add value to the land, turn the land into a money machine that will eventually buy a vehicle for them. So utapata mtu anakuambia mimi nilianza tu kunini nyanya hapa, nikakuwa na haya kidogo napeleka kwa soko, lakini saa hizi nikapata kitu kidogo kutoka kwa hiyo mazao, nimenunua kapika. Okay? Then there's this person within a short time fulani amenunua pickup, wacha mimi niuze hii shamba yangu ninunue pickup. Huyo hakuuza shamba,
aliuza hizo produce.
Huyo aliuza produce. Okay? So if you want to know the history of this, look at when education came to Western Kenya. Our parents sincerely, genuinely sold land to pay school fees. And it's the culture. You will never find other tribes or regions selling land to pay school fees. Never. Never. But I'm going to sell this land so that I can pay school fees. And asome, don't ever think that land will ever come back. Let me tell you why. Because after you've graduated, after you've finished your education, that is when life begins. You go live in this city. You're going to be paid 20,000, 30,000. There's an inflation rate of 10%. Okay? Everything, the price of everything is just high. You need to pay rent. That's 20,000. You're paying rent, hata ukilipa rent ya 2,000. Kwanza kama unaishi Nairobi ni tabu. Kama unalipa 2,000, wewe unaishi hata beyond Rongai. Wewe uko nje ya Nairobi. Because as you move closer to the city, the rent inapanda. So either way, hata ukisema unatafuta nyumba ya pesa kidogo, transport itakava hiyo pesa nyingine. Yeah, very true. So mtoto amesoma, ameenda, umemwambia enda tafute kazi, ameenda ametafuta hiyo kazi. Okay? Amepata mshahara yake ya kwanza ni shilingi 20,000. Ukiweka transport na chakula na nyumba, 15,000 imeisha. Okay? Ukiweka mahitaji yake ana pesa, in short. When will that young man or young lady buy the land that you sold to take him or her to school? We need to rethink. It's not that there is a superior thought, but we need to start thinking, how do we reclaim the resources, the assets, and how do we add value to the resources and the assets in Western Kenya? That is where all these problems began. I'm telling you for sure that simia siluzwa. Tauzia fulani, tauzia si Nzoia iko karibu kuuzwa. Pan paper siluzwa. Who bought them? Indians. I'm telling you, the culture of selling stuff in Western Kenya, any asset must be sold. Any liability must be bought. Brain drain, because there are people who cannot just stomach this. There are people who want to add value. There are people who want tangible results. There are people who want to use resources to create something and produce something. Then we have this culture of anything in the name of liability and expenses must be bought. Okay? And anything in terms of assets must be sold. Okay? So you find people with assets, zinaenda tu, mashamba zinaenda tu, nini, anything called an asset, hii itaenda tu. Yani hata pesa ikiingia, pesa 20,000 saizi, lazima iende. Mtu lazima atafute an expense. Hata kama ana inamuashawasha tu atulia until hiyo pesa ikwishe. Ndio utapata ametulia sasa. Anasema sasa hivi nikipata hata ka 50 hivi nichukue ka plot. But trust you me, hiyo 50 ikiingia hiyo plot hiwezi patikana.
Tenda kwa mahitaji.
Itenda kwa atatafuta expenses. I mean you must buy an expense. And that is why even as these projects are being set up, even as gold is being refined in Kakamega County, even as we are experiencing this commissioning of all this stuff, 10 years down the line, or 5 years down, or even 2 years down the line, if we are not careful, nobody's life would have changed, and these things would die. I'm not a prophet of doom. I know for sure how things work. Look at history. Look at Mumias Sugar. Look at Nzoia. Look at Pan Paper, the tea factory.
Before you go there, and one of the things that President Kenyatta is expected to talk about actually is Mumias Sugar. The Mumias Sugar has been going through some issues. And just some few days to Kenyatta's visit, we've seen that Chemelil Sugar Company is also going in that direction of Mumias Sugar Company. Yesterday, farmers protested that they have not been paid. What is happening in sugar mills?
Brain drain. When you have brain drain, when you have people managing stuff without data, okay, you don't know what you're just imagining stuff. You're just imagining. You have no idea what is going on the ground. You're just imagining stuff. These projects are good. All these sugar industries, I mean, we were the leading. When you have good brains managed, you know, there's a difference between a leader and a manager.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between just somebody who's been placed there and a good administrator. And that is what I'm talking about when I say brain drain. Do we have administrators? I mean, administrators. Do we have people who have integrity? Okay? Do we have visionary guys who will tell you, if you come and tell me, you know, we can sell this cup at, we can produce this cup at 2 shillings and sell it at 10 shillings. You must prove it with scientific data. I need data from the market. I need data from the raw materials, how much, what are raw materials, how much are they costing, and all that. And what am I losing? How much, what is the risk factor? That if I invest, I mean, you need to operate from data, scientific data. As counties and as a region, we need to invest in big data. Big data is when you have data of everyone. Okay, what they do, I mean, their occupation, their age, you know, all this stuff, we ignore them. But if it helps the national government to plan for the country, what do you think that it won't help? Do we have it?
So you're saying that the problems that is facing the sugar millers in Kenya is lack of scientific data?
Scientific data is very essential. Okay? Stop imagining stuff. I'm telling you, people are just imagining. Go try and look into these things and ask. I'm not just talking about Mumias Sugar. I'm talking about development at large in Western region. Scientific data that backs up the decisions that are being made. Okay? Stop depending on political data. Okay? We need to depend on scientific data. When I say scientific, people should not start thinking that scientific data now disqualifies God, you know, like atheism. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about you waking up in the morning and going to where the raw materials for making this cup can be found, and asking the person selling the raw materials, how much do you sell the raw materials? I want a cost of producing 1 cup. They'll tell you the cost of producing this 1 cup is 10 shillings. Then go to the market and do your scientific research. Okay? Can people buy this cup at 20 shillings? Okay? So you will know that I can produce this thing at 10 shillings and sell it at 20. So you'll make your 10 shillings. You don't just wake up and because you saw a nice cup, somebody is selling a nice cup in the market, say, tomorrow I'm also going to sell that. What do you know? What do you know about that business? What do you know about that project? What exactly do you know? Why exactly are you putting billions and millions of shillings in that project? Okay? Why do you want to add value to that resource? We have very many educated people from Western Kenya. Okay? People with great ideas. But they're very quiet because there's no enabling environment for them, and even if they talk, nobody cares. You know, no one cares. Nobody cares. So I think that's where, I don't know how we went so far into brain drain, but I think that is the major thing that that our leaders should address. In fact, when they sit down with the president, they should tell the president, hey, Mr. Let me just believe that I can speak to the president on behalf of Western Kenya.
Yeah.
Mr. President, there is a huge brain drain rate in Western Kenya. People from Western Kenya are working in Central, they are working in Nairobi, they are working in Rift Valley, they are in the US, they are in Australia, they are everywhere except Western Kenya. Except Western Kenya. They visit Western Kenya. They just visit. So, Mr. President, if you can see this, I said one of the biggest projects that we should commission in Western Kenya is the return of the brains that we lost.
Yeah, true. And by the way, there's something that just came into my mind. Actually, I've not seen any factory in Western Kenya that has ever succeeded. We've seen the sugar millers, they always have problems. We have the Webuye pan paper, it just collapsed.
Who came up with M-Pesa stuff? That is just one company that came, Safaricom, and somebody sat down and said, you know what? Money is digital, okay? We are moving into the digital era. So if I can send, how are you? That is HOWAREYOU question mark. If I can send it, how are you, to you, Reader Chebe, and you get it, and you reply back and say, I'm doing fine. Those are digits, those are letters, which simply means I can send numbers. Okay, I can say numbers. Somebody, an unknown person, okay, with brains, that's what I'm talking about. People who have brains. Then they went to, I don't want to go, I know the story, but let me just bypass the story and go straight to Safaricom. The guy went to Safaricom. Here's an idea that I have. So what are we going to call this thing? What are we going to call this thing? And there's a think tank. Don't ever fool yourself that things just happen. Safaricom has almost 2 floors of think tank. Okay? People who wake up in the morning to think. They are paid to think. That's what I'm telling you. Do we have county governments with people who are paid to think?
I don't think so.
They pay political advisors. But that's nonsense to the common man. You're advising politicians on how to keep power. Okay? But do we have think tanks? Are there think tanks? People wake up in the morning and all they do is to think solutions. Think and think and think. How can I turn Trans Nzoia into a city? How can I turn Kakamega into a city? How can I turn this Mumia's sugar factory into the biggest factory in the world? How, what idea, what can I cook? Where can I search? What can I, asking yourself questions outside the box. Okay? Then once you get an idea, bring it to the test table. People start testing the idea and asking the hard questions. What do you think? Stop doing that with politics alone. Don't go into those boardrooms just to discuss what your opponent said. If we attack our opponent like this, 2022, how is it going to be? But you see, this is the problem.
Yeah, they should also think about the common man.
We should have a think tank.
Yeah.
As a leader, you must have a think tank. If you surround yourself with mediocre minds, okay, people that you have to think on their behalf every day. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. You're going to have a brain drain. Okay? So Western Kenya needs a think tank. And you know what? If we're going to need those people, they're in Nairobi, they're in Murang'a, they're in Ukambani, they're in Uasin Gishu. Okay? They're elsewhere, but not Western Kenya.
Then I think the first thing that the Western counties must do is first create an enabling environment so that those brains can come back.
And it shouldn't be a campaign slogan. Okay? It should be something backed up in the county's constitutions.
Yeah.
Okay? There must be a policy. It's not, I've seen quite a number of nonsensical, useless ideas that leaders come up with. We're gonna do a tournament, sports tournament. We want to help the young people do blah blah blah. We're gonna come up with this. They just wake up and keep shouting about these things. So there's a tournament. The first person will get 500,000. The second person will go. All this. This thing is not gonna help. You need to get a think tank. People can sit down and formulate something like Vision 2030. Okay, you must have your own Vision 2030. Whenever you travel outside, let's say as a governor, you've gone out. What are you taking there? What are you going to tell those people? What are you going to tell investors? Okay, we are in the information world. I don't know if there's any county in Western Kenya that has an information center where I can just walk in and get all the information that I need. I don't know if there's any county government website like Huduma, wherever, the e-citizen stuff, with a portal that if I want information about my county or this county, perhaps I'm an investor, I want to know about Kakamega, I want to know stuff, I will get that information from bloggers. But even the county government websites themselves have totally nothing. The last time they were updated, maybe it's 2 years ago.
But we have the communication department in every county. What is their job?
Forget about communication department. Those are political outfits. Those are guys who campaign for their bosses. All they care about is how to maintain power. I'm not talking about power. I don't care about power. I'm talking about somebody who is actually an administrator, a manager, who knows that there are resources here and we must do this.
Well, thank you so much. I'm seeing that the director is really on my case, and I'm seeing that our conversation just started. So make sure you tune in to the next part. We're going for a short commercial break, but we'll be coming back.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Your world of Maisha is getting an exciting makeover. We're giving your channel a dedicated touch to enhance your viewing experience. Finding what you want, loving it has never been this easy.
Your capacity. The problem is leadership.
My name is Rida Chebet Kering.
Welcome home to your dedicated channel, where you choose it, watch it, and love it. It's your season.
And you need to know.
What a treat!
hata anamupenda lakini anashindwa kujielezea. Si life ingekuwa hizi kama mambo yangekuwa one touch yap, kuongea na kujielezea. Mambo mengine sio rahisi, lakini kupata 50% extra airtime ya kuponda kwa SMS ya Safaricom, mambo ni one touch.
Pata 50% extra credo bila expiry ya kupiga na ku-SMS across networks. Piga star 444 star scratch card pin hash, na kama ni M-Pesa star 444 star 2 hash. Safaricom.
Coronavirus COVID-19 is a respiratory virus spreading across the world. The infection is spread from droplets of coughing and sneezing of an infected person, touching or shaking hands, or being in contact with contaminated surfaces or objects with the virus. The signs and symptoms are fever, coughing, headache, body ache, difficulty in breathing. The disease can be prevented by regularly washing hands with soap and running water. Avoid close contact with people who have flu-like symptoms. Avoid handshake, hugs, and kissing. Also, protect yourself by covering your mouth or nose using a disposable tissue while coughing or sneezing. If you experience these symptoms and you had traveled or been in contact with a person from a country reporting COVID-19, you should isolate yourself for 14 days and seek immediate medical attention or report to the nearest health center. This message has been brought to you by the government of Kenya and its partners. For accurate information on COVID-19, dial star 719 hash or call 719. Follow us on Twitter at MOH_Kenya, at spokesperson GOK, at WHO.
Welcome back. We are talking about brain drain, and Bushebi Jr. is mad. What's up?
No, we are just, it's just a concern. Like I said, President Raila Odinga and all the leaders and William Ruto, no, all these guys who are have a lot of interest in Western Kenya. Please, the biggest project to commission is a brain drain issue. We need our brains back. That's a very important thing. I'm telling you for sure. I'm telling you. It looks simple, but a society that cannot produce ideas. America is a nation of ideas. You don't just go to space. Okay? You don't just wake up and you have a satellite in space. It's an idea. Somebody created the idea, started developing it. And money has to be right now, as we are talking, we have quite a number of technological avenues that counties and governments should be investing in. We have the robotics. Okay, that's where the world is going. There's information. We are living in the information age. Unajua saizi, I can tell you for sure, hakuna mashamba. Yeah? Saizi shamba ni masomo yako, shamba ni akili yako. You know, shamba ni idea yako yenye una develop, shamba ni talanta yako. No, that's why the president is going back to CBC.
Ukisema hivyo enda ambio watu wa Rift Valley watakuangalia shamba ni shamba.
It's okay, but I'm telling you, we come from families that kitambo utapata mzee ako na shamba eka 1000. Okay? So akimaliza siku zake anaita watoto wake, anasema utachukua eka 10, au utachukua eka 100, au utachukua eka 50. You know, saizi mko na ploti. Baba, mama, watoto 8 mko kwa hiyo ploti. Na kwanza mnaweza ishi kwa hiyo rental miaka yenu yote. Okay? Shamba utatoa wapi? Shamba ni wewe sasa, bidii yako, ideas zako, mipango yako, talanta yako. Okay, si kwamba shamba hakuna, ziko. But for you to get them, the proceeds will come from your ideas, from your talent, from your discipline, from your integrity. Those are the things that are now called your shamba.
Yeah.
Okay? So once you start earning from these things, then you purchase the land. And it's good when people like that purchase land, because when they do it, they won't just keep that land there. What to add value.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, they will create jobs. Okay, so we have a serious problem. And by the way, I'm repeating this. Otherwise, that gold refinery stuff won't succeed. That wherever gravel stuff won't succeed.
Granite.
Yeah, granite and gravel and kokoto, whatever, all the water projects and stuff, they won't survive. The sugar industry, it won't survive until, as Western Kenya, we begin to address the brain drain issue. The brain drain issue. An atomic bomb is a very small sized bomb, the size of this fist. But it can destroy the whole of Western Kenya within a second. Okay? If it's dropped in Western Kenya, it's this size. But when it's dropped in Western Kenya, it can destroy the whole of Western. That is the power of an idea. That is the power of a brain. That is the power of a think tank. That is the power of a vision. Okay? That is the power. And all this is just going away. Just going away. Okay?
Yeah.
So, Bungoma County has invested in school, in education.
Yeah, like we saw last week, Governor Wangamati commissioned the next edition, actually, which is called the Governor's Bursary Program.
Yeah.
And you can say that Bungoma County is doing something good in ensuring that the needy students go to school.
2,000 students.
Wow, that's
joining
quite
Form 1 in national and extra county schools on the Governor's Scholarship. Bringing to a total of 3,150 number of students the Governor's Scholarship. I'm waiting for these students in the next 20 years. If you'll ever find even one of them in Bungoma, then trust you me, Governor Wangamati has achieved whatever he wanted to achieve. But investing in all these students, and then in the end, they go somewhere and build other places, then that's the worst thing that we can ever do.
Then I think the problem that people of Western should first deal with is the leaders, because we need to have leaders who have those ideas, who can conduct, like you see, the scientific research and know what the people need, because you cannot just have a governor who wakes up tomorrow and decide to build this project, and if you try to make it with the, let's say, the course that these students have gone and do in their university or colleges, maybe they don't match to the projects that these leaders are introducing.
You know, one system that I love in Kenya is a Nairobi system right now. There's the Nairobi Metropolitan Service, and then there's the Nairobi County Government. Do you know, I love the system in a way that the Nairobi Metropolitan Service is doing the administration part.
Yeah.
And then you can do your own politics. Okay? You can do your own politics. But when it comes to doing work, building hospitals and making sure that services reach people, please, we need an administrator. We don't need this politics. And that is the problem. We have politicians trying to be administrators. Okay? Because you say that we need a leader who has visions, and we need a leader who is an administrator. Surround yourself with people who can think, and don't be afraid. Okay? Don't be afraid that perhaps maybe somebody has a powerful idea, and then so, some leaders have this inferiority complex. You know, you're scared of somebody who is under you until you shake for nothing. You've paid a huge price to be where you are. Sasa huyu mtu ako chini yako atakushinda namna gani? Okay? But the thing is, I love the system. If the system can be replicated in every county, that would be the best thing.
Yeah.
You know, have these governors and politicians do their own thing and rant there, run up and down, walk naked, abuse each other.
Then what will be their job? Then maybe we should just change the whole system and have the administrative part
if the
and
thing is
the politics.
If the thing, you can't, how do you get leaders? You get leaders through voting and politics. Politics is part and parcel of a human being. It was all over from heaven. Now we have politics. Lucifer let us siasa binguni. So siasa iko tu, siasa helps in leadership. But when it comes to management of resources, management of resources, I can assure you some of these politicians have mismanaged money, mismanaged land, mismanaged human resource, mismanaged a lot of things. Okay, so we need people who are not politicians, administrators, watu wenye they mean business. Hapa tumekuja works. Tuchape kazi. I don't care if you're going to vote me or vote me out. I'm an administrator. My job is to make sure that something is done.
And by the way, talking about politics and projects, there is this statement where Raila was saying Mount Kenya, tuliona Mount Kenya leaders were endorsing Raila for 2022 presidential bid, and Raila said that he and the president will be working together in several counties while commissioning projects, and he said that the first one will be the Western. Actually, we saw him in Ukambani during Kenyatta's tour to Ukambani, and now he's saying that he'll be coming to Western. What is his relevance? Don't you think that is just politics creating
yes,
for some fame?
we should differentiate between politics and kazi. Uhuru is one guy, not guy. Uhuru is a amiri jeshi mkuu. Najua hiyo ofisi lazima uheshimu. Is one person that wants to achieve. Unayako na crash program. Yeah? Ako anafanya inaitwaje hiyo university? Inaitwaga aje?
Inaitwa crash program.
No, not even crash program. Inaitwaga nini? Yeye nyao kupita kwenda university and then you get it. Why is the name disappearing? I'll remember it very soon. Or wherever you can help me remember that. But this is the thing. He has a crash program. He has less than a year to go. Okay?
Inaitwa parallel.
So Uhuru saizi ako kwa parallel program. Okay, ashalipa school fees. Anajua liwe liwalo lazima nisome. Mimi sina holiday. Assignments lazima nifanye. Kila kitu lazima nifanye. My big 4 agenda lazima. Hata kama sitafanya 100%, but at least I should be able to achieve a few things. Enye nikitoka, Kenyans will remember. And by the way, Kenyans will remember Uhuru after he is left. Hakuna president amekumbukwa akiwa kwa kiti.
Kumbukwa kwa kiti. Ukitoka ndio wanasema
Kibaki, people abused Kibaki throughout until vile alitoka. Then people started saying, oh, unajua Kibaki alikuwa economist, alijenga Thika Road, alifanya. Na wakati alikuwa anajenga, was being abused. The same thing. Uhuru has done his part. If you go to Nairobi right now, I'm sure kuna mtu sasa ukimfikisha Nairobi na nazimia kwanza. Mwagie maji hata amini this is Nairobi. Imejengwa bana. Kumejengwa. Huyu jamaa why do I keep saying that? I don't need to use Swahili. Now, the president has done quite a lot. He has done his part. And he has a crash program. And he has to deliver. His main focus is not politics. Hata ukinotice vile amekuwa handle politicians. Hana shughuli na politicians, by the way. Hana shughuli. Unaweza mtusi, atakuja aseme tu iko wengine mnanitusi.
Sasa mimi nataka uniambie relevance ya Raila ni nini? Kutembea na yeye kwa kila
Raila still has ambitions to become the next president. And the only way you can get mileage politically. So these two brothers have both of these projects and tours are relevant to both of them. Okay? One wants to leave a legacy. The other wants to gain political mileage. Okay? Because ukiangalia hii ni manifesto ya Jubilee. Raila yuko ODM. What is he doing kwa Jubilee project?
Hiyo ndo swali pia mimi nilikuwa najiuliza.
So that tells you it's only a political mileage thing. Okay? And it's good for the country. Because we all know where we are coming from. Hii mambo ya kuvutana kwa inchi kila saa inafanya maendeleo inakuwa ngumu. But at the same time, let Raila gain whatever he will gain by being close to Uhuru. Because his handshake with Uhuru imesaidia Kenya. Trust you.
Actually nchi imetulia.
Nchi imetulia. Tumekuwa na amani all these years after the handshake.
Kulikuwa na ile kulikuwa inaitwa protest hizi za ODM supporters.
Yeah, all the time mara sijui wapi, mara barabara, mara nini. Hizo vitu zote hazijafanyika. And we have had investors coming back. We have had forget about the corruption that has been going on. But in real sense, we have had quite a lot of investment. Even during the time of COVID-19, although pesa ilibwa. But the peace that Kenya has enjoyed as a result of a handshake, it has helped. So let us look at the advantages also and not just demonize. Unajua siasa ni mbaya. Ruto atakwambia mtu alikuja akatuharibia Jubilee. Something like that, and then they'll begin fighting. And remember, this is a political game. Like I usually say, politics is a script. Politics is
kila kitu imepangwa, unajua vile nani.
Mimi usishtuke Raila akasema Ruto tosha ama Ruto akasema Raila tosha. Me, I won't be shocked, but Kenyans will be shocked. I won't be shocked.
For politics, by the way, just expect anything can happen.
Anything can happen in politics. Even 1 minute is enough to change everything.
That's why wanasema usiweke siasa kwa moyo. Unapata ukikoa inatoka. Utapata watu wanakosana huku chini, wananchi Mkikuyu hataki kuendana na Mkale hataki kuendana na Mjaluo, but huko juu ukiangalia hawa leaders, they love together, they eat together, they drink together.
Jana ulinikuwa sana huko Mombasa bwana. Nasema na bado nimekupangia ingine. Sasa wewe ukienda mahali fulani hapana maliza misa sana. Pia Mr. maliza. And you guys are fighting huku chini nikaa. You guys, I mean, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to development and projects, tuachie administrators.
Kabisa.
Then politicians, let them handle people. And peace. And let them be paid their salary and go home. Yeah? Let them, wacha wapewe part of the resources zenye wanaweza handle.
Yeah.
But when it comes to projects kama za easy projects ambazo, please, I think there must be an na kama ni Kakamega Metropolitan Service, KMS, something like that. When you go to Trans Nzoia, we must have TMS. When you go to Bungoma, BMS. You know, let's have a system that can manage things. It's crazy. It's crazy. And especially for Western Kenya, we need our brains back.
Hiyo shangule naona kitu imekuuma sana.
Imeniuma because I know a number of people in Western Kenya who can do great things, but they lack an enabling environment. Number two, I know quite a number of people who have done great things because somebody somewhere in another region provided an enabling environment. Okay? Watu wanaendelesha wengine huko nje. Hata mimi nakwambia, let me just be a little bit tribal. I know, but it's true. Western people, let me just go to Luya people. Okay? Waluya ni watu wenye kama wewe ni Mluya ukianzisha duka yako hapo na mimi ni Mluya na mtu kabila nyingine aanzishe mahali ingine, I will never buy in your shop.
Ataki kuona Mluya mwenzake akimpita ama succeed in anything.
Why are you taking all your money elsewhere? Utapata Mluya anakuambia hii yangu niliundia Nairobi. Wakati amepita watu 6 wa Western wenye wanaweza muundia even better. Why do you take your money to Nairobi? Why take your money? Itarudi lini? Alafu mnakuja kulia baadaye ati we need more money, we need resources, we are poor. How? When you get 5 shillings, all you think of is taking that 5 shillings to Nairobi.
Talking about that, then I think maybe the mentality of Western ndio mbaya. It's not even about not providing conducive environment, because you will get that unasema mtu anafundishwa na Western, anakuwa intelligent, then anatoka anapeleka hiyo knowledge kwingine. Hataki kusaidia mtu wa Western.
Si hataki.
Simple.
Si kwamba hataki. Hakuna enabling environment. And when I talk about enabling environment, I'm talking about policies. I'm talking about laws that can accommodate, that can allow you to expand your mind, to exercise your ideas, and who will listen to you? Nani atakusikiza? People think the world is coming to an end. Everybody ameshikilia space yake. Akiona mtu anajaribu kuingia anapigana sana. Not knowing that the world is big. The industries are too big. You can't own the industry. You cannot own the industry. Look at all the richest people. Jeff Bezos is the richest person in the world. Kwani ana own industry ngapi? Ana own dunia mzima.
Hapana.
This is like a small part of the industry. Why then are you killing yourselves? Why are you fighting? You're just something. This is one person. and you guys, mimi sijawahi elewa. That is why I'm crying out to many people. Why do you take... I was talking to artists. There was some time back when I organized this thing called an artist breakfast thing. And we had almost 400 artists who came. And I asked them, do you have producers around here? And several of them wakainua mkono. And then I asked them, do you have video producers around here? And they said, yeah. And then I asked them, what's your biggest challenge? And I listened to everyone talking about, we don't have enough capital, we don't have, we are always broke, we cannot pay rent, we cannot do this, that's why our businesses are going down. Then I asked, how many artists do we have here? Almost 400 artists. Where do you record your music? Hii yangu nilirekodia Nairobi. Hii yangu nilienda Eldoret. Hii yangu sijui nilienda wapi.
Sasa wanaacha wenzao hapo.
Sasa mmeacha huyu. Alafu nikikuuliza mbona haurekod kwa huyu? Huyu hana kamera nzuri. Atapata kamera nzuri lini? Wakati wewe hiyo shilingi 5 yako umechukua umepelekea mtu mwingine mwenye hana pia kamera nzuri. But just because you want that title, nilitengenezea mahali kwingine. Okay?
Actually, by the way, this is just the message ninaambia watu wa Western. Jenga kwenu, anzie kujenga brother yako ambaye yuko karibu na wewe. Usiangalie useme sitaki anishinde. Atakushinda, yes. Siku nyingine pia utaanguka na atakuinua. Hiyo ndio ni spirit kama mnataka kujenga Western region.
Western region, guys need to go back to the root of all these things. Okay? Guys need, first of all, like I said, the only solution is not guns. Okay? It is not even prayer and fasting.
Yeah.
It is not even prophesying and going deeper and finishing me. Okay? Solution is attitude change.
Exactly.
If I have 5 shillings na nahitaji salt, okay? Where do I take my 5 shillings to get salt? Am I going to spend 1,000 shillings to travel to Rift Valley
to go and buy
salt ya 5 bob so that I can take a selfie and say nimenunua salt Rift Valley? Okay? Okay, let me just not say much. But the thing is, Luhya people are very many. Almost 8 million combined.
Ndio maana unaona politicians huwa wanapigania sana Western region.
And politicians will not allow Luhya people to be united.
Watawagawa ndio msichukue hizo votes pamoja.
Exactly. Now our leaders, you are asking about leadership, unasikia wanapigana, Uhuru anakuja, nani atasimamia, nani atasimamia, nani atasimamia. This something is historical. It is not something that is starting today. Okay? It is very, very historical. There's a fight in these houses. Maragoli sijui anapigana na sijui Bukusu sijui akoje, sijui Mwisuha sijui akoje, huyo sijui mwingine sijui akoje. You can't sit down and just, Luhya is not a language.
Luhya is a tribe.
It's not even, I don't even know what Luhya is. Because we have all these people who cannot speak the same language. What tribe is this that can't speak the same language, that can't understand what everyone is talking about? You can't sit on one table as brothers and sisters and make a decision. Like, listen, we come from one father, we come from one mother. We need to put our house in order. And that is why you can buy Luhya leaders cheaply. All you need to, you don't need to travel from Mars to come and kill a Luhya leader. Okay? Like not killing them physically, but just destroying them either politically or making sure the idea doesn't grow. You don't need to travel. All you need to do is get his or her brother. Give him 10 shillings and tell uenda ufanye kazi. They will tuangana ile na kukwambia watatuangana mpaka utafikiria dunia inakuja mwisho. Watatuangana kama zile jogoo mbili zile ile game ya jogoo zikipigana. Just pay one of them. That's all.
Watavuruga
hapo, watatukanana, wapigane until utadhani dunia inaisha. Okay? Do the same thing. Enda other tribes. Go to Kalenjin, go to Kikuyus, go to Central. Try give them some 10 shillings at enda upige so and so vita. Unaota? Kwanza atamcall, wewe mtu hapa amenipatia 10 bob, ati nikuje nikulibe. Okay? That is the problem with Western and Luya people.
Yeah, ukiangalia visit ya President Kenyatta to Ukambani, we saw that those leaders were united despite their different political parties. Walikuja pamoja na wakaweleka rais kama mtu mmoja. But sasa unaangalia Western washaanza.
At the end of the day, Rida Chebet, wewe, you are my neighbor, you are my brother, you are my sister. Nikikosa kitu kwangu, the next person I will talk to is you.
Yeah.
Okay? So why should I fight you? Why should I accept some 10 shillings to fight you? Hii confusion unaona Western. See brothers and sisters wa Western wenyewe wanapigana. Kuna jamaa mahali ameshika puppet hizo strings. Anavuta tu na mziki tu pole pole and Luya leaders wako tu wana they are dancing and fighting, you know, and they are laughing at us. They are laughing at these idiots. Just pay one. I told you, if you want to destroy a Luya, don't travel. Why travel?
Just use a brother or someone close.
Just one of the brothers. Even at homes. If you want to destroy the life of a Luya home, if you want to destroy a Luya home, don't even go far. Don't even travel there. Don't waste your fare. Just pay one of them 20 shillings. They will destroy that family from the father, mother, children, uncles, everything. They will destroy that family completely. It is something historical. It is historical. So I've talked about quite a number of things here.
Yeah.
Number one, I've talked about brain drain. Number two, I've talked about attitude change. Stop selling assets to purchase liabilities.
Yeah.
Now that assets are being brought to Western Kenya, that is the refinery of gold mine. And then we have the
Vihiga granite vacuum.
Yes, all these assets are being brought. Now that we even have Governor Wangamati's scholarship program, which is doing very well, we have all these assets. Please watch out. Don't sell these assets to go and purchase liabilities. It is, if you to go to nowhere around, if this is not taken into account, if this guy some 3 years.
Hizo projects zitakuwa
hakuna kitu hapo. Utasikia alhamdulillah amekuja kununua. How much do you want to sell me?
Wahindi wanakuja wanachukua factory zenu.
This factory is dead. I can buy it at a dead price. You know?
Because actually, if you tell me, if the Western brains could manage the Mumias Sugar Company, we have Zoya Sugar Company, we have Chemelil Company, we have Buye Pan Pepper. There's a lot of factories. Now we have here Kakamega Gold Refinery in Kolomani. We have Vihiga Granite Factory.
They sell them and go to Mombasa to have fun.
Kama kungekuwa na viongozi ambao wangeweza kumanage hizo factories vizuri, then I think Western Kenya hata ingelead hizi counties.
Western Kenya is very rich. And let me tell you, Western Kenya na watu wamesoma. Walimu wenye wako tu Western Kenya ni wengi sana.
Ndio wanaamua kuendea.
So I'm telling you, teachers in Western Kenya do a good job. They produce, I'm a product of good teachers. Okay? The English I'm speaking ilitoka kwa mwalimu anaitwa Mrs. Omedo.
Wow.
Siwezi sahau huyo mwalimu, and she used to encourage me to speak good English. Mimi high school kulikuwa na ile ining. Mademu wamekuja shule mekaa. Mimi ndo nilikuwa naitwa come and give the speech. I was the head boy. Unaambiwa come and give the speech. So I'm a product of school. But it will be useless if I don't do something with my education and with whatever that I get out of my education to uplift the lives of others. Okay? Avoid this brain drain. Okay? Hata mimi nakwambia ukweli, hata ukikuwa na akili mingi mzuri, hata uende usucceed, let's say in the US. You try and send money to Western Kenya na useme kitu fulani ifanyike. Hakuna kitu itafanyika. What is the point of me going to the US, becoming a doctor, and send a lot of money to Western Kenya, to my brothers, to my sisters, to wherever, only to come back and find that there was poor management, no growth, no vision, no ideas, those things just die. What is the use of money then? What is the use of that investment? That is what I'm talking about. You can brag and say, you know, watoto wangu, job wangu mmoja anafanya ako World Bank. mwingine anafanya UN, huyu mwingine sijui anafanya wapi. And then so what? At the end of the day wakituma hata milioni moja hakuna kitu inafanya. Yeah? It is painful. It is painful that people who own banks don't come from Western Kenya. It is painful that investments za transport systems, utatafuta muluya hapo ndani hutapata, ama mtu kutoka Western hutapata.
Hizi ni services ni lazima.
These are basic, yes, these are lines of business. Oil, energy.
Vitu mnatumia daily.
Yes, you wake up in the morning, everything that you use in your house comes from one, I want to say, but it comes from one place. Okay? Where are you? Where are you? The biggest project, Mr. President, is brain drain issue in Western Kenya.
Well, as we wind up, because our time is up, actually, not even almost up, but it's up. What is your last words to Western people, the Western leaders, and even President Kenyatta is expected in the region this weekend?
Launch a brain drain project. Period. Have a think tank. I was talking about this bickering will end when all of you become rich in your own way. Okay? I won't envy you. Why should I envy you? Why? Why should I envy you? That is why rich people live in one area and poor people go and live in another area. Because mimi nikikaa naishi kwa posh area and I see a lawyer ametoka kazini na Benz yake ndio huyo anaingia, na mimi my V8 nimepark somewhere there. Sasa namuonea hivi ya nini? na mimi niko na V8 na yeye ako na Benz. Labda V8 yangu ni milioni 5, Benz yake ni milioni 4.8. Ama ni 6 million. Hasira ya nini? Hasira ya nini? Lakini wacha nikuambie, anaingia na Benzi yake na mimi ni fukara, yani hata nimelala kwa miti. I will find a way. Tena hasira itanishika sana. I don't know if you've ever dressed nicely, walked around in an area where guys are not doing so well. Okay? Kitu ya kwanza utasikia wanakuambia hao ndio wezi hao. Hao ndio wanakula mali ya umma. Okay? There are places you don't even drive around. They'll kill you because you irritate them. You remind them of how poor they are.
Yeah.
Unawachokoza. Okay? So what is the solution? Sisi wote tufaulu basi.
Kabisa.
Sisi wote tufaulu. And I'm not talking about bottom up.
Bottom up approach.
I'm not talking about bottom up approach. I'm talking about county governments, number one, creating a think tank. Not for politics and not how to maintain power. A think tank on development. Okay? There must be an office. There must be a flow. Angalia models za kampuni kama Safaricom. Yeah? Guys who have a flow of watu ni kufikiria. They are paid to think. Kuna watu nikwambia, kuna watu earn millions to think.
Because those ideas wanatoa zinarudisha hizo pesa.
Exactly. Unapewa problem, unaambiwa we want to be a city. In the next 10 years. Go and think about that. And you will be paid for that. Na lazima ulete, si kuthink ile ni unalala unaota umekuwa city alafu unasema hii kitu inawezekana. Forget about this, go deeper stuff.
Data.
This is data, doing research. The only way to become a city is number 1, start with this. Number 2, do this. Number 3, do that. Number 4, this and this and this and this is the first step, second step, that this thing is going to take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. In the next 20 years, you are talking about 5 years become a city. No, you can't manage in 5 years. We are going to manage this thing in 20 years. But 20 years maybe mean your governor sitakuwa. Na maybe naweza kuwa hata one term governor. Okay. Now we'll just hand over the blueprint to the next person who comes in.
Sure.
Okay?
The project is ikufe.
The project is ikufe. But when you make this a political thing, that I'm going to build this road so that nitakuwa naambia watu munichague kwa sababu mimi nimejenga barabara, when the next person comes anawachana na hiyo barabara kabisa, because it was political project.
Yeah.
Okay? Sitaki hata kuhusishwa na vitu kama hizi, because it's a political. Trust you me, the next president of Kenya is not going to do their own things. Even if William Ruto becomes the president, right now he's talking about bottom up. It's not going to change anything. There is a blueprint. Trust me when I tell you Vision 2030 must come to pass. Penye Kibaki aliachia, Uhuru alichukua.
Penye Uhuru
ataachia, mwingine anachukua. You're not going to do your own things. There's a blueprint. Utakuja useme ni Big Four agenda, but trust you me, your Big Four agenda inatoka kwa blueprint ya Vision 2030. That is why watu wanalia, mbona Alfred Mutua anajenga hiyo state house kubwa huko Machakos, si angejenga sijui. My friend, these guys are not guessing. Machakos iko kwa system ya Vision 2030. There's a tattoo city. Yeah? And there are so many cities. There are cities being built in this Kenya, in this nation, and nobody knows. No picture has ever been taken. And if you speak about those cities, I don't know if you appear and disappear, or appear only or disappear only. Either of those ones. I don't know what will happen. But there are cities that are being built in this region. There's a city being built in Kakamega. I don't know if you know that. There's a city, a techno city being built in Kakamega by one person. I sat down with that guy. It's a $2 billion.
Yes, not shillings.
Not shillings. I thought I had a vision until I sat down with that guy. One guy, $2 billion. And people have said, you know, he's proud. You know, people are not used to these things. When you come with a budget of $2 billion, people are like, hey, uni Illuminati. Uni Illuminati? What is going on? But this is one person who told, he said this to me. He said, Santon in South Africa. Santon is a city. Santon in South Africa just started like a joke. Somebody just sat down and said, you know what, we're going to build a city. And 15 years down the line, it was a big city. Right now, Santon, if you go to Kasarani, there's Santon. You know, this is a great venture. This is one person doing that. And I think he even had an altercation with the county government. How do you? I think that has put Governor Paranya on his toes.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's...
That's why, yeah, exactly. Because you're a governor and you have somebody in your county building a city. You have all the resources. You manage more than 10 billion budget. Of course. So we need such people. This is one guy who went to South Africa, saw how Santon City became Santon City in South Africa, and he thought to himself, wow, this is a Mwale technological, whatever, medical technology city. If you go there, I've been there, I've looked at what these guys are doing. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. And so we need such people. We need think tanks. You call them crazy, you'll call them frauds, you'll call them all kinds of names, you'll abuse them, you'll call them Illuminati, but at the end of the day, call them anything that you want to call them. But these are determined people. They will make it anyway. As you keep calling them names, they make it.
Well, and now as we wind up, let's come to our politics. As we approach the 2022 general elections, there is formation of coalitions, there is formation of new parties. There is this new coalition that was formed by 4 parties, 2 from Western Kenya, 1 from...
The Okoa Kenya Alliance.
One Kenya
Alliance.
Kenya. And it's barely even a month before this thing was introduced.
And Gideon is out.
Now Gideon is saying that Jubilee and the KANU coalition is still intact.
There's no Jubilee. We all know that there's no Jubilee. Look at it this way. President Uhuru is retiring next year.
Yeah.
He's the chair of Jubilee. He's a leader, actually, the party leader. So he's going home. The deputy party leader is still William Samoei Ruto, who now has his own party. He's now a party leader to his own party. So where's Jubilee? Where's Jubilee?
Because the main officials...
Yeah, look at that confusion. Where is Jubilee? Jubilee died. Jubilee doesn't exist.
And now we see that Gideon Moi is saying that without Raila and non-Kenya alliance, then they might not win the...
I told you last Thursday, I told you last week, I told you, all these coalitions is what we call political merchandising, okay? Because I have 20 people and you have 20 people, so let's come together, call ourselves some funny name, you know. And then let's look for a guy who's looking for 40 people, and then let's strike a deal.
Yeah.
Okay? Why did NASA break up? Political funds. It has nothing to do with ideas.
But
it has everything to do with.
This week we saw NASA's ODM actually say that it is now ready to.
Right now, as we are talking, today, they had a meeting, ODM, and they say they're going to give the political funds to the partners.
Yeah.
Why are they fighting? Money. Why are people forming coalitions?
Money.
Why are people forming funny parties? Why are people jumping from one coalition to the next? It's pesa. Forget about, there's nobody. Politicians don't care about you.
So do you think that now that ODM has decided to share money with other parties, do you think that NASA will revive, will come back to life?
You know, agreeing to share money.
Because
are you sure they agreed to share money, or there's more to? You know, you can withhold something if you are hungry and you really need something that I have. Maybe I have some mangoes that you really need those mangoes. You really need, you know, like I have some food, some chipo. Unatamani sana hizo chipo. All I need to do is kukuzuia kidogo. Appetite end over the roof. So when you come, finally you can't hold it anymore, then I'll tell you, you know what, give me 50,000 shillings. This is chips that cost you around 50 shillings, okay? But now because of your appetite, because of your hunger that is over the roof, you're going to give me 50k to eat. So ODM is not a fool. Yeah, just keep the guys ranting and crying and threatening and jumping up and down and asking for this money. And then finally, when you know the appetite is over the roof, then hey guys, come, let's have a deal. Because ODM cannot allow themselves to lose Ukambani through Kalonzo Musyoka. They cannot allow themselves to lose Weta and Mudavadi. Okay, they can't. They can't. At least for coastal region, they have Joho, who is still somehow powerful. Okay, Nairobi imekuwaga ya ODM tangu kitambo. Okay, and wameweka Jubilee kwa mfuko. Uhuru sahi na Raila ni brothers. Somebody was telling me brother null and void. They are just working together. But that is just a joke. But you know, when you look at it carefully, NASA hasn't broken.
Because according to the contract that they signed, it said that at least
3
members, parties.
The registrar of parties said nobody has written to the registrar of parties to say that they're pulling out of NASA. So this is politics. Kalonzo kwanza ndiye atakwambia mambo mengi nini, lakini kesho atakuruka. You know, we all know your character yake. But the thing is, it's all about money. It's about deals. Okay? How much do you have? How much do you have? How much are you going to pay me so that I give you all these votes? Oh, lisikia, was it Lunyangapo? Who said mnakuja chota na kuchota na kubali. Maraimu kikuja lazima mununue. Akauliza yule mama wa mandazi, hata hiyo mandazi unaperaka bure. It tells you the mentality. Politicians speak the truth accidentally. Exactly, it's selling your vote. I have all these Rift Valley votes, so talk to me, niongeleshe. How much do you have? Kwani deal ya Ruto na not Raila na Uhuru, when they were forming Jubilee, walipendana? Was it a love contract? It wasn't. Was it marriage? It wasn't. This was business. It's a deal. Uko na nini, una pesa ngapi boss? Because running this party, putting all these people together, convincing them to follow me, it costs money. And when you want what I have, then lazima unipatie na profit juu. This is business. This is business. So the day Mudavadi, Weta, and who else? Oparanya and all these guys will agree to how much money they want, kugawa wenyewe kwa wenyewe, they will unite.
Well, thank you so much, and I think that is where we're going to stop for today.
Yes.
With 2022 politics and those Uhuru's visit to Western region. Next week, when we come back, we'll talk about what transpired during Kenyatta's visit to
What happened to that girl who was removed from the bursary, Wangamati's bursary?
Actually, Wangamati has come out and say that her name was there but was eliminated because they thought that, because according to governor there's two
the bursaries, the special program bursary and the governor Wangamati.
So ndani ako kwa ile nyingine. Yake kapelewa. Labda wacha tukuwekee hiyo video ya Wangamati uone.
Okay.
The first case ya Dina Nyamboge Rioba was highlighted, of course, by our local media.
Well, that's a funny, whatever. He says it's a vetting issue. They thought the mother was a landlady or something, so anajiweza, so ya nini tumpatie basari na, lakini mtoto amewekwa kwa special program. I think special program.
Mama anaweza kuwa landlord alafu anakubali mtoto wake shwali arudie class 8.
This bursaries thing, let me tell you. Kila market iko na mad person. Easy programs, you will never lack some mad people. As much as Governor Wangamati is trying to do a good thing, if you go into that project, into that program na uanze kupekua, it is not 100% clean. Lazima tu kuna wendazimu mwenye alileta dada yake, akaleta anko yake, akaleta mtoto wa mjomba, akaleta mtoto wa shangazi, akaleta exactly. So if you dig deeper, you won't be shocked to find out. So sometimes crucifying Wangamati over these things, sometimes pia ni kumuonea, and then mnaweka governor anaenda kujitetea mingi, anaongea mingi. And when the people that are doing this, you know, me, if I were Governor Wangamati, I'll just ask one question: who did it? Kama ni wewe, tafadhali wewe press, I need a press meeting. The moment I call the press, kuja uko wapi? Kuja simama hapa, ambia watu kitu ulifanya.
Exactly.
Wacha ni kunifanya kila saa. Mara sijui ni nini. Governor Wangamati has please, Mr. Governor, next time these people do these things and make these errors, call a press meeting. Ita huyo jamaa mwambie, simama kando yake, mwambie bwana, ambia watu kitu yenye ulifanya. Period. These people should not terrorize you every day.
Well,
no, but it's true. It's true. Have you seen for the past 2 years what this man has been going through? Every time he has to come out and explain things, and the people who are putting him in these problems wako tu. Mimi nitaita media mzima and I will call, huyo mwenye aliiba ile pesa kwa wapi? Kuja hapa bwana, ambia watu vile uliiba hiyo pesa. DCI does that. They explain blow by blow on how somebody killed someone. Wewe pia kuja explain blow by blow on how you stole this money or how you removed the name of this child. Come and explain. Mimi nimechoka. So so that wasiharibu your 2022 bid to continue ile kazi yenye ulikuwa umeanza. We know that in government lazima kuna errors, lazima kuna wendazimu, lazima kuna wezi, hata ufanye nini. But ukipata mmoja, bwana governor, next time wacha wasikutese unaongea mambo mengi mbele ya watu. Ita tu mtu ajiongelee. Na akitoka hapo Mariamu
akina Mariamu
anja mbio.
That aside, that's only the Thursday. Remember, this has been PLG Thursday, that is politics, leadership and governance, where we talk about issues affecting you politically and development issues like Kenyatta's visit. Until next time, my name is Vida Tebet.
Oh, there you are. Come on. Come closer. Let's start this journey together. Get to know one another so we can rise together. Pick me up. Hold me. Feed me, but it might be messy. Change me, but it might be smelly. Be my playdate. Be my rocking chair. Be my hero.
Because every dad should play an equal role in his baby's life, Pampers is giving 8 weeks of paternity leave to their new dads, hoping to inspire others to give Kenyan dads this opportunity.
Hello 22bet. Oya ni aje? Poa sana. Unasikia nenda kuingia kwa account yangu napata kuna maziwa rada? Oh, hiyo ni Euro 2020 cashback. Tunapeana 8% kwa kila game ya Euro. Hadi kwa kila game? Hata zenye zimekunywa maji. Sasa nyinyi ndio mabazeng. Itabidi hadi nimechapia mbogi. Cheki Mamorio. Unasikia kuna 8% cashback ya nini ya Euro ya 22bet.
Get 100% bonus on your first deposit now. SMS join to 29255.